Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
MJ in the house.
Unbelievable, folks. Another episode of your favorite Thursday night tradition, Wrestling Insiders. Party with Marty begins now.
Baby.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary, back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders. Dan Marty along with Marty Jannetty as we continue to plow through the summer of 1990, heading into SummerSlam. You got a new hat on, Marty?
Oh, I do?
Well, you always bring a lot of hats.
Yeah, because
Like a man of mystery over there.
You had that on last week.
Well, you know what? I don't have enough money to change clothes. That's why we encourage fans, if you're watching during the premiere, to use that super chat button so I can wear something different. Unlike the debonair Mr. Jannetty over there. August 7th, 1990, it was the return of Sergeant Slaughter, even though you have the fly Swatter, to the World Wrestling Federation, but it was a different Sergeant Slaughter. He was very anti-American.
He was for the people in the Gulf.
He was brutal. Soon he would be joined by the former Indian Tag Team Champion in the 70s, Billy White Wolf, who went on to become Sheik Adnan LKC in the AWA,
Did
and
you ever
then
watch him
General
with Billy
Adnan. I was in someone's.
Was he a good worker?
No. Billy White Wolf was around in the 70s.
What was Sheik Adnan?
He was 80s, and General Adnan would probably be best remembered for the 90s.
Well,
I was still waiting to.
AWA days, if we talk about the same one. In fact,
General Adnan, Sheik
Yeah.
Adnan LKC. Yeah, Billy White Wolf.
Yeah.
Him and Chief
Oh,
Jay
that
Strongbow
was
were
White
Indians.
Wolf. I mean, I heard that name a lot. White Wolf.
Yeah.
That was him.
An Indian tag team, one of which was Italian and the other one was from Iraq.
And one was from Germany.
Who?
Boris Zukov.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, he was born in Germany?
Not born there, no.
Oh, he was just a German
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
All right. Well, your thoughts on Sarge coming back to WWF, a guy that, he had some issues with Vince like Jesse over merchandising and licensing because he wanted to control the Sergeant Slaughter likeness and be involved in G.I. Joe. Your thought on the return of Sarge, only not as a babyface, but as an Iraqi-loving heel?
Was he always heel before that? Like
When he left, he was a major babyface, but he did have a heel run too before that.
Like he was, because he was on Georgia's Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
But was he heel? Sorry, when he was Sergeant Slaughter at the beginning.
He did both in his first run.
Oh, real back
Yeah.
and forth. Oh,
But most fans of that quote-unquote era would have known him best from his end of his WWF run as a babyface, his AWA work as a babyface, and his work as a cartoon character on G.I. Joe, where he could command megabucks, and he still tries to get megabucks.
And he can't get it?
When he goes out and does an appearance, he is.
I like him.
Nice guy, yeah.
I never knew that he got paid for his jaw.
What do you mean he got paid for his jaw? How do you get paid for your jaw? He had a jaw implant? Well, I don't know what you mean.
You're either a pitcher or a catcher. Brother got you. Mm-hmm. And if you got a big jaw, like you might be catching. The only thing I mean by that, you don't.
Well, I still don't understand what you mean.
You know baseball, right?
Yeah.
You're throwing it.
Yeah.
Or you're getting it.
So you're saying Sarge was like that?
Oh man, you get me in all kinds of
Well,
trouble.
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about, other than that it's some kind of an insinuation that Sarge was either a pitcher or a catcher. Is that the case?
I don't know. I was never there.
Well, what do you mean? You brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah, DH. He was a DH man. But so what had happened was, since you brought it,
Yeah.
I got to go to the forefront. I guess the Gulf War was it?
Yeah.
What was that thing called? The bomb.
The Gulf War.
But when it like And they gave it a name. How they don't name it like, shoot, whatever it was when after 9/11.
No. This was 1990 we're talking about.
When was-
9/11 was in 2001.
What happened that they had a Gulf something?
They had the Gulf War in I think it officially kicked off in January of 91, but
Do what? Yeah, they did a Scud. Whatever happened was like over one day. Remember we talked about
well,
it?
yeah, Shawn Michaels getting
Yeah.
angry with Hogan. But
No,
what I still don't understand the Sergeant Slaughter.
Because when he started doing
Right, yeah, he became an Iraqi sympathizer when he came back
Right.
instead of the American hero.
Yeah.
But what do you mean he got paid for his jaw?
Remember how it stuck out a
Yeah,
little bit?
yeah.
Evidently, he stuck it out further sometimes.
Oh,
You didn't know
a
that?
little fellatio.
I didn't say that. Why do you always take it that extra step?
Well, just in case the fans at home are trying to put it together like I was.
At home, did y'all notice? And you all love him.
It almost would be like a resting place, I would think of it, where the jaw was so big, just kind of, almost like having a little table or something.
Yeah, lay it down.
Just resting. I didn't know that about Sarge.
Oh, if you're going that far, I didn't say that.
Oh, well,
Damn, no.
you said he...
No, man, he was. I love Sergeant. You know,
But-
I'm sure he's a good brother.
It must have been hard for him to do the Pledge of Allegiance, though, when he was in that position.
No, not from his knees.
Well, but if he was, being paid for his jaw, it would be kind of hard to do both at the same time.
Let me ask you a silly question. Yeah, right.
Would we ever ask a serious one on this show?
Yeah, right. Between these three.
All right.
Oh no, I gotta ask it right. No, that's just one perverted. But I was gonna say Shawn Michaels. You know, I love
Yeah.
Shawn. I love my boy.
Sarge Service, Shawn?
That's something you have to ask both of
Oh,
them.
okay. You don't know that to be true.
I don't think that to be true.
Oh, all right. Well, what about Shawn?
Or him, Sarge, and Barry Horowitz. Of the three, ABC at home, if you could do that.
Shawn Michaels, Sergeant Slaughter, and Barry
Yeah,
Horowitz.
Which one might have gone south? And A, B, or C? Y'all make your own game up. Don't leave it alone. But what would you, A, B, or C?
Who were the letters again?
A was with Sarge, B, Shawn, C.
I'd go with B. I don't. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Are you asking like a trivia question, or are you asking?
No, don't they win money if they get stuff right all show long? Because you know Super 6 on, is it Fox? Fox, you like, there's a game you can play.
Yeah.
And you got to get 6 questions right.
Oh,
They call it
okay.
Super 6.
Well, do you know the answer?
No.
All right. Well, we're going to move on then, folks. Your thoughts on Sergeant Slaughter as this Iraqi sympathizer? Do you think it crossed the line? Do you think it was a good way to play into reality of the world at the time?
Let me ask you this.
What?
He almost got stabbed several times. And you know, as wrestlers, that's what you want. But that means you pissed him off. As a heel, right? You don't want to get stabbed as a good guy. But, you know, they were stabbing at him. They had to do metal detectors. So he got a lot of heat.
Well, I know Vince McMahon had to provide around-the-clock security for his family.
Oh, is that right? I think I heard that.
Yeah.
That was true?
Yeah.
Wow.
And promised him if he wanted it, a job for life. And you know what? In 2021,
So
I think
that's
he's still
serious.
getting that payday every week
That's
as a
serious,
legend.
man.
Yeah.
And our
That's
paycheck,
serious heat.
Our paycheck didn't change. I mean, you're doing that to, you know,
I don't. Well, I told, as we've discussed, 1990 was a dead year for the WWF.
that when it was?
Yeah, and when
Oh,
you
yeah.
and you look back at it, who was his first feud with? Volkov. So I mean, now is that a match that's really going to light the house shows on fire? Volkov is a baby face against Slaughter is the.
I'll tell you, it could, but you're going to have a lot of gasoline.
Yeah, exactly. They did that in one of the worst house shows I ever remember attending was
Hershey.
September of '90 here in Boston, and you were on it. It was the Warrior and the Legion of Doom
Yeah.
against Demolition as a trio. They advertised Jim Duggan against Rick Rude, and it was Rick Rude against the Conquistador. They advertised Rockers against Power and Glory. It was you against Paul Roma.
Oh, so that had been 90.
Slaughter and Volkov. It was horrible. And that was it. That was it.
Did you ask for a refund?
No, I was happy to be there. I was in the 5th grade. But it's just, even as a kid, I said this wasn't one of the better shows I ever attended.
Oh,
What's that?
It must have been bad then. Because a 5th grader, you know, at that age, you're just going to love it.
And I tell you this, the next month, I think, was one of the worst crowds they ever had for WWF. It was a matinee on a Saturday afternoon. It was DiBiase against Dusty, who, as we mentioned, didn't mean much in WWF. Right. Rhythm and Blues against the Hart Foundation for the tag titles. And Tugboat against Earthquake.
Tag title.
I apologize. And Tugboat and Earthquake. So it was kind of a shitty couple of months in the fall of '90. And we're going to get there as some interesting things went on. But I don't want to go too far away from where we were in August. But you really didn't give us an actual answer, though. Do you think that the Slaughter thing, do you think it was too much, or do you think it was just the right amount of heat? Is an Iraqi sympathizer heel?
Honestly, like Shawn got upset about the whole, yes, we're trying to make money and piss the people off is the goal of a heel.
Right.
You know, I mean, you want to get thrown through a barbershop window to get that guy so much heat. But that, you know, we're at a real war. It wasn't a war.
It wasn't a war at that point when he came in and started to do it, to be fair, to WWF.
But that was, I don't know. What do you think? I think it was a bit much.
I didn't think he had much left in the gas tank, so to speak. And just the promos were really good, but the work was lousy.
The storyline, did it have any gas?
It really made you hate him. So I guess, like you said, that it was effective. But was it distasteful? Was it enough? Was it the type of heat that made you say, I don't want to watch anymore?
And a lot of people didn't until Roddy Piper came back.
No, Piper was there doing commentary, yeah. Business did rebound in 1991, but we'll get there as time goes on. Also,
we're not there yet.
What's that now?
We're not at 91
No,
yet.
we're not 91 yet. What happened, maybe you know, maybe you don't know around that time, but major fallout between a guy that WWF was really pushing strong and was pushed to be the second of Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam 90. No, a Tugboat. It was supposed to be Hogan against Tugboat with Dino Bravo and Earthquake in the corners. Last minute, right before the last TV taping before SummerSlam, they decided to take Big Boss Man, who was already the guest referee for, I think it was Jake and Bad News Brown, and they had him go out twice and be in Hogan's corner that night. What went on between Tugboat and Vince? Any idea why there was a big to-do with the two of them?
No, because they love each other. Not like that, you know, but they love each other. All right, you know, they did. Tuggy, can I say Tuggy?
Yeah.
Tuggy was business, and of course Vince is going to be business. Well, I forgot about that till you just now said it.
Oh, so you do remember the issue?
Oh, now, yeah.
Yeah.
But I forgot.
What was the problem?
I don't know.
Oh, but you remember that there was a problem.
Actually, I didn't even know that.
Oh, well.
We just all thought it was because it was bad, bad. Wasn't drawing. Right?
Well, but again, this is what they advertised as the co-main event for SummerSlam. Why would you take the guy out of the corner and replace him with someone that was already on the show?
Was this still? I know why. No, I don't. But I will say.
All right.
Pat Patterson was gone.
No, he was still there.
He was still doing it. I don't know, because he was pretty good with his bookings. And you have to be in his mind to know why. Because like right now, it's like, what the hell? But he would be 3, 4, 5 steps.
Well, there was some kind of I don't know if I'd call it an altercation, but a loud argument with Tugboat and Vince, from what we've been told over the years, at that TV taping, and they decided to show, I guess maybe adjust Tugboat's attitude a little bit by replacing him from the main spot at SummerSlam with Boss Man.
I can't see Tugboat being the bad one.
You think Vince was the heel in this instance? Yeah.
Because Tuggy's fucking, excuse my language, he's great as a person.
Nice guy.
Yeah. And business. I mean, he's going to stand firm on what's right.
Right.
I'm talking about business. So I can't see him being wrong.
Married into Dusty Rhodes' family.
He did. Yeah, a lot of people married into that family. They were almost like the Bellas of the 80s and 90s. He, you might know better than I, Marty. Dusty Rhodes' wife is also, one of her sisters married Jerry Saggs.
Dusty
One of her
or
sisters
Dusty's?
married Tugboat. Dusty, the Dream.
Oh. Did he have just one wife, or he had several?
He had at least two.
I met a girl, a lady.
Well, the one that he was with when he passed away. One of her sisters married Saggs, and one of them married Tugboat.
Shit.
That's kind of an interesting dynamic
That's
right
different.
there. Imagine those Christmas parties. Dear Lord. You imagine that grouping getting together? A lot of turkey. Were you familiar with any of the girls?
No,
The women? No, you didn't know any of them?
Well, I met one, that's it. I don't know if they were forever or did
Which
he-
one did you meet?
He told me one
A
time.
Dusty wife, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He told me one time. He was driving, or he was driving. We were flying up to Nova Scotia, which Halifax, I think, or wherever the hell it was. Is that the time zone's a half hour. You know time zone's an hour.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the only place that I know of in the world, half-hour time difference. So we were all scared, like, oh, you better get the extra 30 minutes. I'm sitting up first class up there, right next to Dusty, and nobody liked him at the time. Well, I did. I mean, I liked him. Well, he's sitting there and goes, "Pissed it away, Daddy." Do you remember?
Yep.
Yeah. I said, "Pissed it away." I'm like, "What do you mean, Dream? What's up?" "Marty, I made 1,000 a night for so many nights that I had so many double shots. I have made so much money. But I pissed it away, Daddy. I pissed it away." I mean, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I drank a little bit. I partied a little bit. I pissed it away, Daddy. I pissed it away." And I didn't know what to say. I mean, because he looked down. So he was serious. I mean, I'm laughing about it. We're not laughing, but when it was happening, his expression, he was upset. And to go to Nova Scotia from wherever we flew out of, I think, Florida, it's like going to transcontinental. You're going all the way, So a 5-hour flight. Pissed it away, Daddy, for 4 or 5 hours. He was upset.
You think he would have liked to have relieved himself like Kerry Von Erich did in Japan?
You don't know if that's true, though.
Well, you said it. I don't know.
Oh, you mean the squirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. The thing, and I don't want none of my girlfriends to hear this because I don't want them to want to get, Carrie's not here. And I love the Von Erich family. Kevin, we saw in Israel last year. Was it last year or the year before?
It had to have been 2
Year
years
before.
ago, yeah.
Yeah,
because
because
of the
I
virus,
yeah. Since us. Pissed it away, Daddy. I'm like, and I knew him. We used to play paper football all the time. Remember that?
Yeah.
You spin the little thing. Nobody else would have nothing to do with him. I'd sit there and play football. Well, what's up?
So he was an unhappy camper in WWF too.
Well, Road Warrior Hawk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick his ass because me and him were good friends. He told me, because I'm sitting there playing paper football. When I come by and go, "Now, get up and walk away." Because he was gonna beat the shit out of him. Yeah, a lot of guys did.
He really didn't like his booking, I guess.
Yeah, he was. "I'm gonna beat the shit out of that dungeon door ass bastard." He thought his ass looked like a dungeon doors that came together and flattered it. Whatever the hell. That was just what Hawk said. But it was like, well, man, I like him. "Just stay there if you might catch a downswing."
And did anything ever happen between the two?
Nothing ever happened. But I moved. That's what happened. But old Dusty, I liked him a lot. I found out why people didn't like him.
Why is that?
Because when he left, he went back to WCW.
Right.
And for whatever reasons, it might have been at that time, Shawn bullshitted, and I had to, I called Vince, "We quitting." And Shawn calls it, "That was Marty's idea," that kind of thing. I had a meeting to talk to Dusty, a meeting with him to talk to Ric Flair. And so pass around once it clicks. And Dusty wasn't there. It was 10 o'clock. I remember this like yesterday. 10 o'clock in the morning. I called at 10:01. Oh, you know, just because, you know, when we're sitting there, hey, 10 o'clock, boom. You know,
Yeah.
10:01. I mean, it snapped while it went to 10:01 while I was waiting. You know, you don't want to be, you know. And Dusty. Now remember now, when I'm sitting there playing paper footballs with his ass, like this would be the football field. I'm trying to, you know how, you remember?
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
remember?
I know what it is, yeah.
Football, boom. You just need the edge, and that's
We
it.
understand, Marty. We understand the game.
They don't.
They understand too.
You remember too? So nobody, me and Dusty all the time. Nobody liked him. Like I said, I understood why. Because he had me for that 10 o'clock, 10:01, it might have been 10:00 half, as I called. And he got word to his secretary. He didn't call in time, Daddy. You were going to do that to me? I'm the only one that liked you down there. I sat there and got heat for liking you, you know. So as much as I liked him, I thought, you know, a lot of times y'all ask me, like, you know, but people ask me, is there anybody you don't like? I still love him. And certainly, you know, God rest his soul. I thought that was the shittiest fucking thing ever. 10, I mean, I'm nervous. I'm looking at my phone.
So wait, you had a meeting planned with
phone. No phone.
But I mean, how did he know you were going to call?
He told me what time to call.
Oh, so you spoke with him previously?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I made that confusing. And I was so nervous because we're leaving, you know, we're leaving there, the WWE, or F at the time. But, man. And that was just an excuse. Basically, he was looking for a reason to say no.
Well,
Right?
makes sense, I guess, yeah.
When you take
Either that or you give a low ball offer, yeah. We'll give you
We
75
didn't
grand a year.
We didn't even get into that.
No, but I mean, that would be another
Yeah,
way
yeah,
to try
yeah,
and
yeah.
blow you off if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
really did want to bring you in, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks, I'm getting the cue from the back. We're going to take a brief time out. We'll be back to talk more WWF Summer of 1990. Get ready to feel the heat at SummerSlam.
That was what it was called, too.
It was. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Johnny, the momentum here in Boston wrestling continues as we continue to build and build and build. The fans want to know, how do we help? We subscribe to the Patreon, but we see all the great merchandise on that set. Coronavirus may have killed the nightlife, especially for someone like Marty, but our acclaimed eBay store is open 24/7 around the world.
Wow. Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insider's in-studio shoot interviews on eBay with this brand new personally autographed WWE Royal Rumble 2021 11x14 poster signed by WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, his advocate Paul Heyman, and Kevin Owens. Reigns and Owens battled for the Universal title in a last standing match January 31st in the Thunderdome in Tampa. This limited edition collector's poster is number 31 of only 50 produced. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself. Also comes with an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus autographed 8x10 photo. Get this rare, awesome collectible for your man cave and help keep wrestling legends working now.
Cheer! Why, hello! I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. Dan Marty Jannetty. SummerSlam 1990, big event, Philadelphia Spectrum, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You were getting ready to open up the show itself. It was a big Monday night pay-per-view tradition back then. Leading into the house shows. I mean, leading into SummerSlam, I should say, on the house shows. It was not the Rockers against the Orient Express. It was Marty Jannetty and Shane Douglas against the Orient Express. What happened to Shawn Michaels at that point?
That's not the one where they...
Well, that's what happened at the event, right. But that summer, what happened to Shawn that led to Shane Douglas replacing him on the house shows?
The boys are always getting habits with each other, be it cocaine or whatever.
Yeah.
But bikes, I was going to say bicycles, but bikes, motorcycles. The boys got in a little phase, everybody's getting motorcycles. And I told Shawn, Lex Luger bought one there in Atlanta and drove it off the lot. I mean, the car lot's right here. And he drove it to the red light right in front of it and slipped and tore his knee out. But, well, he didn't tear his knee out, but he hurt his knee. And it went from about 20,000, this is way back in what year would that have been? 90,
Which one now?
When Lex was there.
93 is when he debuted.
93.
In WWF?
Yeah.
Yeah, 93.
93-ish. And the motorcycle cost 20 grand when he bought it. As soon as he drove it off the lot, it went down to 15. That's true, you know that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
A curb, 1 foot. Oh, now it's only worth 15. But I had told Shawn, I said, brother, I don't know why you like this fad of motorcycles. You ever drove one or rode one? Nah, but I'll learn. What if you tear your ankle or knee, or what if you wreck? And sure enough, he had got to the way he told me, railroad tracks, and just slip when it first starts. What you got going on?
No, nothing. Keep going. Keep going.
Let me have that.
No, just keep going.
And so, stop yelling at me. All right, he scared me. Oh, anyway, he skidded. He went to the railroad. I guess motorcycles you're supposed to go not straight across, like zig it. And, he went to zig it and slid, put his leg down, and he tore his cartilage in his knee. And that was Power and Glory time, right?
Well, on the house show loop, you were still working with the Orient Express.
Oh, real? When he messed his knee up that bad, we had to do a pay-per-view with a Power and Glory, and that's why if you remember, Hercules beat him. Both of them actually, but hit him with a chain before the match started.
Yeah, but that was the way to get him out of doing the match without exposing that he was injured and so on and so forth. Yeah, so they did. It was almost like how when the British Bulldogs had to drop the tag team titles, they did. That was before you were there, but because Dynamite couldn't work, they attacked him in the aisle, and then it was just the Hart Foundation with Davey Boy. Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw that match, but
of course I did.
I actually enjoyed working with Herc and Paul. I thought it was, for a 2-on-1, we had a good match. But anyway, and I'm sorry.
It really did. It turned into a handicap match.
But, yeah. And Hercules, I love him, God rest his soul. And he had psychology. You wouldn't think he did because he was just kind of all the time, or something to drink. You would think, okay, this guy don't know what's going on. He had good psychology. And if he didn't, he could hurt you real easy. He gave me a close, I didn't mean to. Gave me a clothesline. The roll up where you run in with a guy and to the ropes and hold them and they hold the ropes, right? And he rolls up waiting for you. I held the ropes. Here comes Hurt down the thing. Wham! He knocked the shit out. Everybody said, you sold that good. I wasn't selling, I was out. I mean, I fell, you could see it. The whole, like a limp body, boom. And the next thing I see Paul Roma over me. Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm thinking, why shouldn't I be? What's going on? you know. But that was, because of Shawn with the motorcycle.
Yeah.
What brought that up?
Well, Shane Douglas had replaced him on the house show.
Oh, that's right, yeah. That's what brought up the other thing that I've told y'all on here. Well, we did a commercial, the cereal.
No, that was over a year later.
Later?
Yeah.
Where that Shane was on the road.
He might have been on the
'cause
road,
Shawn was
but
there, if you remember. Shawn was actually there for the
for the
Survivor.
SummerSlam, yeah, he was.
SummerSlam,
yeah.
yeah.
They attacked
he
him like
was
you said
outside,
before the
yeah.
match, right?
But that injury lasted or something because.
Well, and then right, because like I mentioned that September of '90 house show, and it was still you doing singles matches. So Shawn was out for quite a while
Yeah.
because of that motorcycle injury.
And
Was it aggravating to you that you were kind of no? Was it more money for you? No.
Not that either. But and I love Shane, Shane Douglas. I mean, I love him to death. And we got along so good. I had so much fun, because he was a prankster. He liked doing things, and he was a good worker. Hell, he was a champion where
ECW, yeah.
But no, I loved him to death. But so it was after that, because Shane was the one that was with me doing all the towns.
Yeah.
When we had to do the commercial.
Well, maybe something popped up again in 1991, but we'll get to 1991 when we get to 1991, I
The
guess.
only thing I was going to say out of that was Shane was the one on the road with me. Shawn was hurt. And he flew into Atlanta to do a commercial with me, or, as the Rockers, some cereal, Superstar cereal.
No, we'll get to that interesting point in time.
Yeah.
Hercules is kind of a forgotten soul in WWF history, and he was someone that was there from, I believe, late 1985 through 1992. Never got his nod in the Hall of Fame because he passed away at kind of a young age. Any memories of Hercules where he was there for so long? Any fun stories? Any not so memorable stories?
Well, there's a couple.
Okay.
Should I tell it?
Yes. That's why we do the show.
Yeah, but families,
Well, he's been passed for quite a while. They knew who he
I
was.
loved Herc today.
Warlord shared a story
Herc?
about Hercules on a plane flight. When I
You
guess
gotta tell me.
he had a
Well, you
bad
tell me first, 'cause
he had a bad reaction to a little medicine, and
he went crazy.
and he started working with an elderly woman that was sitting next to him on an overseas flight. And then the pilot eventually had to come out, and he started working with the pilot. And then when they got to whatever country they were going to, the Warrior was up in first class. I guess the police saw the size of him and wanted nothing to do with the situation. So instead of arresting him, they just basically escorted him out of the airport, as fast as humanly possible. But I would have loved to have seen Hercules at his size trying to work with this old woman who probably had no idea who he was or what he was trying to do to her.
That's what I was thinking.
But your Hercules memories now.
Well, I loved him, I loved him to death.
Yeah.
We were in San Francisco, of all places. The only reason I say that, because it's known for things. When you say San Francisco, people think right away, oh. But you know why, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The San Francisco treat.
Yeah. And it wasn't the case. It was just, even if it was, nothing against that, just that it wasn't the case. What it was, we went to a club. You asked about Hercules stories.
Yeah.
Went to a club. There's two of them. Paul Roma, you ain't had him here, or have you?
No.
Okay. Why not? He's right down the
You'd think, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, hook it?
Potentially, why not?
Would you?
He was around in that era.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was there.
Those are the guys that, to me, are far more interesting
For
than
the show,
the
too.
more current people. Yeah. Well, anyway, with Hercules, San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, okay. And so we went to a club, and we just got back from France. We did an international. Can I tell? Can I just open it up?
Tell it.
So what had happened was, this pretty young black lady, I say lady because she was 30-ish, and we were young, man. We were 29.
Big age difference, yeah.
But we looked at it like that. And man, she looked good, and man, I tried, but somehow Herc left. You know, Herc. Oh, I shouldn't say this. He's got family.
Well, again, we've
Okay,
already
way
talked
back,
about
way
him
back.
working with the old woman on the plane and attacking the pilot.
It was way back, and I love y'all, all y'all, Herc family. I love y'all. But his daddy did this. Fuck, messed it up. All right, here's the story though. Anyway, this lady, pretty. I wanted to. It was like where I looked like a little totem pole's head over there looking. You know, it was that nice looking. At the end of the night, this is in Paris. We're in Paris, France, which is a sexual city. If y'all know, y'all that haven't been there, yeah, it's a sexual city. But Paul Roma and I were good friends. We partied a lot. That was just power and glory.
How did we go from San Francisco to Paris, France?
Well, because they were tagging together.
Okay.
And they were rooming together.
Yeah.
And I went over to their room because
Yeah.
they had nothing to do because I had brought nothing back. Rarity. Knock on the door. Paul Roma, he cracks it. You know, this much I see that. You know, which is weird, other than he might, you know, have a
Yeah.
gun. And I'm like, hey, brother, what's going on? He goes, and let's be coming in the room. He kept doing this. I'm like, all right. This is going to be tricky to do this right. The girl that we were all trying to get with was there. In between beds, you know, the double thing?
Yeah.
You had bed, double. She was in the aisle, you know, in between the
Yeah.
two, in between, on the knees, short skirt. She hadn't a closed short skirt, had scooted up a little bit, and she's, what do you
Filleting?
call it?
Fellatio on Hercules? Yeah.
And there was a sack of nuts hanging out the backside.
Oh, yeah. God.
And like Herc, he goes, if you tell anybody, I'll beat your ass. And let her.
Hercules knew?
Well, he found out. I don't think he knew at first.
In mid-filleting.
Paul told me later, he goes, at first, I'm the one that told him, Herc has got nuts.
Yes. Oh, God.
Okay, but that was Paris.
So what happened in San Francisco?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like 2 weeks later, back in America, and went to his club that, you know, it was pretty popular in San Fran. It was me. I'm in the back with her. Shawn's in the front. I forgot who was driving. Wasn't Barry Horse, but somebody looked like him. But anyway, Herc grabbed a girl, a lady. You know, he got a girl. He got a girl. Herc wasn't the smoothest talker. so if the three of us are going back with nothing, and Herc got somebody, we're checking our game. Like, where did we go wrong? What did we do wrong? And Herc, I'm in the back with him, right? He's over there, and I see the hand. I'm scooting over. You know, I don't want to be in the way because the hand's going to play pocket pool thing, kind of. And I hear Herc, stop this car. I think it was Jeff Jarrett. Slammed on brakes because, you know, Herc, boy, when he screamed, yeah, but what? And open the fucking door, Jannetty. He called me Jannetty. Open the fucking door. I'm like, nuts again. That was nuts. And he shoved it out on the, I mean.
It.
So it was like within a month of each other, he got, and that time, because he told, I didn't say nothing. I'll say Paul must have said something. I did, in Paris, I did not tell any of the boys, Herc will whip your ass. It's going to hurt. He don't just whip your ass where you no, okay, no more. No, no. You don't want that ass whipping. But he, yeah. All the boys, it must have told, there'll be Paul Roma. Paul, I love Paul. Hey, Paul, you got to get him on the show one time. But I guess he told, I didn't. He must have told everybody. And Herc had to hear it, like, oh, so you had that girl had nuts on that girl. So the second it happened, like 2 or 3 weeks later, And he shoved, get out of the way, boy. He called me Jannetty. Get out of the way, Jannetty. What did I do wrong? But, let me get the hell out of the way.
You must have had a different kind of PTSD, post-transgender.
Yeah.
Oh, and other than those misadventures, any memories of Hercules outside of that? He was around a long time with you. Anything fun, funny?
Well, that was fun, but it wasn't.
Well, maybe for you, but
Not that person got pushed out. Because they plopped too. When he shoved, he was on this side.
it was a big shove.
I was right by the door, but by the sidewalk. He was over by the, cars going by. That's why he yelled at me, and I was like, okay. And I did not know he was going to do this.
He pushed the transgender into oncoming traffic?
No.
Oh, I was-
Sidewalk. And, but
I was going to say he was really angry.
What you heard. It plopped right there. And I thought, well, let me check, make sure. Get your ass in the car, okay? And nobody got anything that night.
You know what? With the luck that you guys had over the course of that couple of weeks, that might have been for the best.
I think it was.
That might have been for the best.
I think so.
Any memories of that SummerSlam match? Was it kind of unique having to put it together in almost like a handicap match type fashion? With Power and Glory at SummerSlam, yeah.
No, I was worried about it. I thought, how am I going to make this look good? They were going, if y'all saw it, they jumped Shawn at the beginning with a chain, I think.
Yep.
Wore out the knee, got messed up from the motorcycle wreck. And that left him, I'm to go on with the match. I thought we did good.
Yeah, it was the opener too.
But nervous as hell about it. Like, how you gonna make a 2-on-1 with them two guys and me looking like this? How are you gonna make this look good? But we kind of did good. I know what I forgot to say, or did I say it? The roll up though, my biggest memory is when I got knocked out and didn't have a memory. We rolled up, when you pick up for a slam, you fall behind, go to the ropes to roll them up. And they hold the ropes. That's what I did, hurt. Actually, it was Paul. So you could Google it, you'll see. So he swoops me up, fall behind to the ropes. He rolls me, I hold the ropes. He rolls back like, here comes Hurt, bam, off the apron. When you see it, you'll realize, when I watched it, I don't think there was any thought, when you see the lights, until you go to the ground, there was no thought process. He didn't do it to be ugly. He just laid that one, and I appreciate it because it looked good.
Didn't feel so good.
I was out. I didn't even feel it. When I hit my head, you can see it bounce off the floor. I didn't feel that.
Wow. All right, wrestling fans, right now we're going to take a brief timeout. We come back, we're going to talk more SummerSlam 90. Stand by.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary, back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
On October 28th, 2020, wrestling's scariest night was back with WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. This limited edition collector's autograph poster is number 12 of only 100 produced and is signed by all 9 superstars featured on the poster, including Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, and your Halloween Havoc host, Shotzi Blackheart. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the back. You'll also receive an on-air thank you from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus mystery autograph photo. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889.
Wrestling fans, welcome back. We've talked a little bit about Shawn Michaels' injury and maybe an injury to Hercules' pride, but that's a different story for a different time. Also on the SummerSlam 90 show, we saw Sapphire. She forfeited her match against Sherry Martel, who was painted like a cat. And it was later revealed that the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, bought Sapphire. As Dusty Rhodes pleaded with Sapphire to come to the ring with him, as Randy Savage made quick work of the American Dream. Your memories of Sapphire? You said she began her journey in professional wrestling as a ring rat in Tennessee.
I didn't say that part.
Yeah, well, yes, you did. But
I didn't.
Check the archives.
She was a fan.
A friendly fan.
What?
A friendly fan.
Perk, you know.
Yeah.
If we can't steal other people's like groupie and stuff like that,
You'd settle for Sapphire.
And she was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Now, was she still...
She was a St. Louis Perk. Always at the St. Louis shows.
Would she service the boys on the road?
On the road or in St. Louis?
No, once she became Sapphire, once she became a talent.
Oh, that part.
Did she treat herself with more respect when she was an active talent?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, because I wasn't around. I liked her as a friend.
She was a nice lady?
Yes.
I know Sherry Martel had difficulties working with her.
Oh, gosh, because she couldn't work. I mean, she was a sweetheart. I mean, she was a sweet lady, but couldn't work.
Well, you were a friend of Sherry's. Did she ever share with you any of her frustrations about Sapphire?
No, the only one she got frustrated with was Candy once or twice, but they worked.
That was in the AWA, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. In WWF at the time. No, she never talked bad about nobody, because if she didn't, now I'm speculating, if she didn't like something, she'd fix it.
Well, and I think she had to fix Sapphire, I guess, in some discussions we've had here on the show. They had to have some private training sessions, and Sherry kind of had to take the initiative to help Sapphire along a little bit. Almost kind of like the Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior story that you shared before about Rick getting a little frustrated with the potatoes. Yeah.
I didn't know Sapphire was that bad.
Well, when you had such a limited female roster, there really wasn't going to be much you could do. Elizabeth wasn't going to get in there and work. So it was Sapphire and Sherry pretty much. What, were you disappointed to see Sapphire leave after Ted DiBiase bought her?
You know,
they did a few vignettes and then she was out.
You know she died. She
died quite a while ago.
Yeah, like 2010.
I remember Todd Pettengill announced it on WWF Mania, so that would have been somewhere probably between 93 and 96.
Yeah, so 20-something years.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the only thing I do is share it out. We're real good friends. That's how Sherry was. I mean, she, in the ring, if you ain't working, it looks like she's tearing your hip. But the girl would come back and say, "Oh, it's great." You know, either scared to say, "Gosh, she tore my head off," or she was really. I never had to work against Sherry. We tagged, 6 person tag, a couple times in AWA days. But
well, I mean, did you think there was any mileage out of the storyline where Ted DiBiase was Sapphire's benefactor? It was almost like one of those soap opera storylines where, leading into the event, Sapphire was getting all of these fancy gifts and. Would you have continued to use Sapphire a few events, or do you think maybe it had run its course?
I would guess run its course.
Yeah,
run it.
You had enough Sapphire at that point.
Well, I wouldn't say it like that, but you know, it's gone as far as it could go. And Dusty over there, pissed it away, Daddy.
What did he think of Sapphire? Any idea? Well, you were kind of friendly with him.
Yeah, well, not like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And he, well, that's what I say about going to Nova Scotia or wherever that we was talking about earlier, Prince Henry Island or wherever it was.
Somewhere up there.
Yeah, that half an hour difference place,
Yeah.
which I think is somewhere in Nova Scotia. But anyway, the only thing he did was he drank a little bit. It was like 9. Actually, it was like 5 or 6 in the morning. Because the reason I remember that is because we were laughing because we had a plane change in New York, and plane change in Toronto, and then we're going up to Nova Scotia. And it was only like 9 a.m. You remember that commercial about the Army? We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Unless they're in the world of professional wrestling, yeah.
Quoting that. Everybody's quoting that. But he was upset about something. He was drinking a little bit. And there I am right next to him. Marty, pissed it away, Daddy. Pissed it away. What do you mean, Dream? What's up? I was Ric Flair before Ric Flair was Ric Flair. Limousine driving, all the women, all that. Now, pissed it away, Daddy. I said, why you say that? He goes, do you see what they did to me? I'm wearing yellow polka dots. I'm getting walked to the ring by, I don't want to say rat, but he said, well, he did say that, by a St. Louis rat wearing polka dots too. Pissed it away, Daddy. I had the world.
That's what he called her, a St. Louis rat.
Yeah. That's where everybody knew it from.
Oh, that made my day. Well, poor Sapphire, stick a fork in her, she was done.
She died though, you know that.
As you mentioned about 45 seconds ago, unfortunately, Sapphire did leave us.
Yeah. And
Rest
Dusty.
in peace, Sapphire.
Yes, love you, sweetie.
Also on the same event, the Hart Foundation, again, baby faces, come out of SummerSlam with the tag team titles. They did that awful angle where Vince McMahon tried to play up that Axe and Smash were almost twins and lookalikes when they did the little switcheroo from under the ring. And I, as someone that had watched WWE for 4 years, never thought they resembled each other in the least, but I guess that was the angle they wanted to try and get across on TV. Legion of Doom came out and helped the cause a little bit, and maybe what coming out of the show you would think would be difficult for you to get a tag team title opportunity, but we're going to get there in just probably short order, where we're talking SummerSlam 90 right now. Any thoughts of, again, were you disappointed when you'd see babyface tag teams, knowing that it would be unlikely you'd get that top tag team position? Would it frustrate you and Shawn?
Well, like, you know, we talked about this in the previous episode. When we saw them come in, you were talking about, what do they call them, Legion of Doom?
They were Legion of Doom in WWF, yeah.
So I guess Road Warriors got copyrighted?
No, Vince did want, how did it go?
I don't know.
Vince didn't want them as Road Warriors because he didn't think he could own it. And then he kind of asked them to come, I think he asked them to come up with a name, and he didn't realize they were known as, in the NWA, the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. So they still had prior usage. So.
Yeah. But to answer the question, we was like, I mean, we can get upset because we're friends. You know, we're like, but it was like, back to the back of the line. Still happy for them.
Well, I think
happy for us, but that was no put down to them. You know what I mean?
Well, that's one way to put it. You also had the newcomer Kerry Von Erich. He replaced the injured Brutus the Barber Beefcake and defeated Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, I remember that.
He had only been in the company a few weeks, and he came away with the gold over Mr. Perfect.
That was for Warrior.
That was for what?
Warrior.
Oh, really?
Ultimate Warrior. Well, yeah, they're like buddies.
He was Warrior's Beefcake. I mean, he was like Hogan and Beefcake. It was Warrior and Kerry Von Erich.
Well, it's Jake told me, Jake Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason Kerry is here to appease the Warrior, which at the time I didn't know what appease meant. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have the phone.
Google, yeah.
Yeah. So I had to actually use a dictionary. It pissed me off. But then when I read it, I'm like, yep. Yeah, I guess he was right. Jake was smart, or I was stupid.
Kerry didn't have much left in the tank at that point.
Kerry.
Was it medicine? Do you think it was
What's
his
Kerry?
foot? Kerry Von
Kerry.
Erich. I mean, I really can't think of
Combo.
one good match he had his entire run there.
There.
In
Didn't he work with,
WWF.
Rude? Who all did
Von
he-
Erich?
Yeah.
No.
No. Kerry? Who did he work with? I know Kurt.
His
Yeah.
big feud was with probably Mr. Perfect. And then, with all the suspensions and the drug problems and with whatnot, I think he worked Dino Bravo at WrestleMania 7 and a real classic. Who else did he? Yeah, I mean, he wasn't on SummerSlam 92. He wasn't on...
You know what's crazy? He could have, it's probably a credit to Flair. Like I told you, I used to do the Iron Man thing,
Yeah.
hour matches. And it's slow, thing. And then pick it up last 15 minutes after you're asleep. You miss it anyway. Great matches with Flair. But anybody else?
Still in my mind. What about, since we have an expert in the room, can you think of any good Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich match from his WWF stint that I'm missing? Yeah, nothing. I mean,
Wrestled in the Warrior's shadow at the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
They did have a similar look, right? Yeah, one had the face paint, one didn't. One had 2 feet, one didn't. But
It came off from Colonel DeBeers.
no, just too bad. I think at the time WWF was really looking for a fresh coat of paint. Within short order, they brought in the Legion of Doom, they brought in Sergeant Slaughter, they brought in Kerry Von Erich, who had all main evented in different places around the country and even around the world. And with Kerry, they had zero luck. You hate to call it a failure, but it was a failure. Sergeant Slaughter, they got a WrestleMania main event out of. The Legion of Doom kind of came and went a few times over that year, but yeah, kind of a boring show. Warlord defeated Tito Santana on that one, which was I don't think anyone was knocking the door down to see. You had the
Did you
great.
ask, when he was here, did you get to ask him about
We
that?
didn't get to that point yet in his journey. We made
Is
it
he coming
through 88 into maybe early 89.
Is he coming back?
I hope so.
Me too.
He's a good egg. I loved
Yes.
Warlord.
Yes.
You had the great tag team, much like you and Shawn. It was Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Nikolai Volkov defeating the Orient Express. Sergeant Slaughter
You
was
said the first two. I thought
Sergeant
he's
Slaughter
not
was a
gonna be
guest.
serious.
Sergeant Slaughter was a guest on the Brother Love show. Ultimate Warrior
Brother
retained.
Love was good.
I thought
For
so.
what he did.
Yeah.
For his,
I didn't particularly think that segment was good. I did in the
that
middle
one?
of a pay-per-view, but what are you going to do?
you know what Nick Bocco, before his balls had fell out of his
Yeah.
pants when he was walking, when he said, my boy is, when he was talking about somebody that just, you can't make bullets out of shit. That was his big saying. You can't make bullets out of shit.
Well, and then you had the one of the co-main events. Ultimate Warrior retained the title in the steel cage over Ravishing Rick Rude. Bobby Heenan took a little bit of another beating from the Warrior after that, being hummed into the cage like a bullet that wasn't made out of shit. And the Hulkster, he came back, he posed. Everyone was happy as he defeated Earthquake, but they continued that rivalry well into the early part of 1991, at least on the house show loop, as the Hulkster was still kind of part-time at that point. But in one of your favorite stories I know you brought up in the past, Jake the Snake Roberts was victorious over Bad News Brown via disqualification with Boss Man as the guest referee. With the lead into that match involved the Harlem Sewer Rats.
That had to be in Miami.
I'm not quite sure about that.
Okay, well, that's where they brought all them damn big ass rats. Like little sections. Like on the big ass things you push, it's got sections of rats, like they call them wharf rats or whatever the hell they are, sewer rats. Huge, man. There's the size like a cat almost. Because most rats are mice. And for whatever reasons, they brought it was Miami Arena. I'll never forget it because Steve Lombardi came to me and goes, "Help me do this." Do what? The little where all the rats were, let them open the things so they could get out. And I didn't feel it was the right thing to do, so I went and just helped him, show him how to open the cage thing. And it did, and then big ass thing. It was so funny. You hear, ah! And you see one of the girls, one of the production girls, running up the hallway, running from the rat. The rat was going the same way, but it wasn't chasing. It was scared too. It was like, what the hell am I doing?
And isn't it ironic? That was probably the only time Steve Lombardi had anything to do with the rat.
Shit,
I don't know.
I didn't even think of that's a good one.
What would a
I can't
good
wait to see him. I'm gonna tell him that.
what would a good payoff for a SummerSlam 90 have been?
5,000.
That's it? Really?
Probably 70 between that and 7,500.
All right. Well, but do you think Shawn would have got that for just hopping down the aisle?
If you want the upper tier,
Well, no, but I mean, do you think they even would have given him 5 for what he contributed to the event?
what do you do?
You remember Power and Glory attacked him.
Oh, you mean that was SummerSlam or something?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Miami thing.
Oh, no, that was just the TV tape.
Yeah. Is that all it was?
When you let the rats out? Yeah.
I didn't let them out. They got out on their own. I just opened the cage. It's not my fault that they left the cage out there for me to go inspect.
No. It was the cage's fault that it existed.
No, it wasn't my fault. The rats wanted it out of their own dormitory.
I have to say, I didn't like that SummerSlam. I remember I had a group of my friends over to watch the pay-per-view, and it was, again, I think it painted what a lackluster 1990 WWF was after WrestleMania 6.
It was bad, huh?
Yeah, it really sucked.
Was it that bad?
Yeah. Even as a kid, when you're a kid, you usually love everything.
Yeah.
But me and my friends, we were probably started goofing around.
Your money back?
Well, we didn't quite go that far, but I remember, we were probably wrestling each other in the den at that point, just bored watching Volkov and Duggan against the Orient Express and the Warlord and Tito, and,
A lot happened on that show, though.
that no one wanted to see, yeah. Philadelphia, though, was that a good party city for Marty?
Yeah.
Yeah, you liked Philly.
Yeah,
Other than that Coco incident.
Yeah, you remember that? Y'all remember that? And it wasn't our fault again that the man stuck his hand in there with all the cocaine.
No.
It wasn't our fault that Coco reached over and hit his hand, knocked it in the air, and it took off. It wasn't our fault. Pow, pow, pow.
You were shot at, yeah.
Coco, yeah, Coco's driving like
Just
this.
a typical night for a WWF superstar.
That's one Coco we got to ask him about when we ever get there.
Well, you know what? Like I said, I had that very interesting conversation with him. That didn't come up, believe it or not.
You're kidding. Did you tell him about it?
It slipped my mind. It slipped my mind. I
That's
figured,
good, so we'll get him
we'll
spontaneous.
save it for the studio when he's here.
Spontaneous, like, hey, Coke, remember that time? First of all, he was mad as hell. That's why he did that.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been the fact that he got the shit for free. Back then we did, cocaine.
Yeah.
Back then. And
Did Frankie ever sniff any of it by accident?
I saw him one time with his legs up in the air like that.
The bird,
On
really?
his back, yeah. Coco got more girls by accident than us trying did on purpose. And that bird, the girls always, sometimes he initiated it. It's okay, he's not married to, he's not married.
No.
Right? He would, girls, hey, how you doing? How you doing? You want to see the bird? It was almost like the opening line. Yeah, come on up to the room, I'll show you. And then whatever happened.
Well, wrestling fans, we are unfortunately running out of time again. What did you think of SummerSlam 90? Leave your thoughts in the premiere chat on the right-hand side of the screen, or if you're not watching during the premiere, in the comment section below. Don't forget to give us a big-time Hacksaw Jim Duggan-like thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is free. Let YouTube know you're enjoying the craziness that is Boston wrestling. Don't forget to tip the bartender. That super chat button remains open. The eBay store is open 24/7. You can find the link in the description box below. And if you just don't want to be a fan, if you just don't want to be a friend, don't forget about the Patreon streaming service, folks. Be part of the Boston Wrestling MWF family where you get early ad-free access to all of these crazy talk shows. We have archives of hundreds of interviews with dozens of different superstars. We have our acclaimed Studio Shoot Interview DVD library that's been seen by millions online, millions on the Howard Stern Show. You have some Patreon exclusives and the knowledge that you, yes you, are helping keep great professional wrestling legends working on the road, sharing their stories, experiences, so they don't get forgotten about. WWE isn't going to make a 3-disc DVD set for everybody. That's why it's great that a studio like this exists, and it helps the guys have some extra income in their pocket. So for my partner in crime, Mr. Jannetty, I'm Dan Marati. Don't forget to head on over to BostonWrestling.com as we're getting closer and closer to our 20th anniversary as we go back to the 80s for WrestleFest, Saturday night, November the 13th, Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. We'll see you there. Yikes.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.